God, not even queuing. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Good Vibes Present Solutions. Football.
Yep.
Soccer. No, honestly, what's the point? I want to know, would the world survive without football and soccer? Would you? So, my lovely guest is going to answer these, amazing insights soon from Darran Griffiths, aka Griff the Joker, at Griff the Joker. Hit him up, you need him in your life. Thank us later. Comedian, podcaster, podcaster and radio broadcaster. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You are welcome. Now, as I say, Darran is going to give us some insights on that, and we welcome your opinions too. Okay, just a quick story. I only watch basically football when Nigerian Super Eagles are playing.
Fair.
African Cup of Nations. I went back home years ago and they happened to put on NEPA. They were able.
Yeah,
there was
electricity for the game.
Listen, all the lobbying, all the political will, it was there.
So it shows you it's possible.
It's
If
possible.
they want to have it, they could do it.
So this is the power of football.
Yes.
You know, forget the national grids and all this kind of thing. It's there.
It is.
It's there. So basically, I'm not really into football, and that's the only reason I watch it. But my sister and brother have got amazing skills, and I think they got this from our father, who used to play for Barnet.
Okay, so you're actually from a football family.
Yeah, in the 50s.
Yeah.
And they love the skills. I kind of get it.
Yeah.
But I still don't understand why it's the most popular game. And also, I think my aversion to it may stem from the fact that when I was in primary school, we used to share this big playground.
Right.
And the boys dominated the shared playground and didn't allow me and my age mates. Don't smile and say that for the game.
We need to play the game.
Listen to my childhood trauma, first of all, okay, before bringing the beautiful game. It wasn't a this is a beautiful. Don't laugh at my. See this man. Primary school. I wanted to play in the big playground with my age mates. We were not allowed. So I asked nicely, and this goat, said to me, I can play if I go in goal and save his shot. You know what's coming, didn't you? So I said, okay, fine.
I'll play the game. I'll play
the game. He took his shot. I saved the goal with my face.
Oh.
With my face, okay? They allowed us to play.
Your face was stinging.
It hurt so much. It was a small victory. We got to play. And I had a headache and bruising, but we got to play. So I know this is not the world's fault, but
it's okay.
Why are boys like this? This is what I want to say.
I can't lie, I used to get a weird sense of joy if the ball bounced off onto girls' heads. So especially if you told them, don't sit there, we're playing football here. And they would go, no, we're sitting here, we can sit where we want. It's like, true, but I advise you not to sit there.
Fair enough.
They do.
Fair enough.
Ball off the side of their head. No, I can't believe you hit me with the ball. We told you it's going to happen, so.
Territorial. It hurt. It hurt. So, my first question for you, Darran, is from my husband.
Yep.
And Jerome asks, well, first of all, he saw a fan punch a wall because his team lost the match. So he asked me, so the man there volunteer, and he wouldn't even cry if his mother passed or something like that. Why? Why is this? Why are so many people emotionally invested so hard?
See, that's the thing I find hard to answer, because I'm a massive football fan, and there's this kind of higher 5% who will have their whole life ruined by a football result. I'm just below that, so I could discuss what happened in the game. I may not want to talk about a game if like my team's lost, but I'm not punching walls. I'm not swearing at people who didn't watch the game. I'm not looking to cause any kind of public or criminal damage because of the result. But some people, it is that. And I tried telling one of my exes is like comparing, and she found it kind of almost sacrilegious to say it, but I think it's the most pure comparison. Football to a lot of people is like religion. It's genuinely like a religion. You go to a place of worship, which it may be the game, the pub. You congregate with people who all have the similar aim and views and the point of worship, which is that team. Your life is what brings joy into your life, and what takes joy out of your life is out of your control. All you can do is just watch and support it and see it happen, and you feel kinship with people who support the same team as you. You feel some kind of animosity with people who don't support the same team as you, but you admire the fact that they still support the team, so you're still within the umbrella of football. But for some people to get that, I do not know the answer to why some people will punch a wall. I've seen, there are times where, so I support Tottenham, and say like last week, I don't actually have that many Arsenal fans as friends, not through any kind of choice. It's not like I'm not that much of a Tottenham fan. Like my mum's an Arsenal fan, for example. So,
but do you see her still? Do you actually let her come round?
Yeah, I still see her. But she's one of those people. She doesn't like football that much. And if Tottenham were to have beaten Arsenal, she would have no idea what happened in the game. But miraculously, somehow, because Arsenal beat Tottenham 2-0, as soon as I walk into her living room, she's like, "Oh, so did you go to watch football earlier?" It's like, "Yes, yeah, I did." "Oh, because Arsenal won 2-0, right?" I was like, "Yes, Mum, you knew that what." So, but yeah, the punch in the wall, I don't know. Maybe they don't have anything more important in their life going on. I don't know why they don't punch your walls, but yeah.
Okay, so there's passion
There's
involved.
passion, yeah.
So this is a solutions platform.
Yeah.
When Tottenham loses a match, or I don't know, reach a final, one of these things you call, is it leagues?
Yeah, do the league. Yeah.
Right, leagues. Now, what is your solution to cope with when they lose?
When they lose,
what's your coping mechanism?
My comedy. My coping mechanism is to find something funny that's happened in the game. The other thing I try to do, my coping mechanism is when I see people who support other teams who want to kind of dig me out about Tottenham losing. My thing is to not react at all to it. Pretend I didn't watch the game. Pretend I don't even like football anymore. To say I was busy. I was doing something else. They know I'm lying. But that's my coping mechanism. But I play football myself as well, so yeah. So that's what I try to do. So especially if Tottenham's lost, so I'll rectify it in my own life. I'll play football.
Rectify it.
But this what happened this week was Tottenham lost 2-0, and then my team lost 1-0 on the one day who I played for. So it's just like, football's rubbish. Football's the worst thing in the world. But yes, that's how I try to cope with it.
Why'd you put yourself through it?
Or playing football or watching?
Watching.
Yes. Because it's just always been something I've been interested in. Actually, that's life. I've been interested in it from a very young age. It's not something I've always been interested in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just been interested in a young age. It's something that you can watch people do at such a high level, but then also you could do it yourself with your friends. You don't even need goals. You just need express jumpers for goalposts. You just put 2 jumpers down. You've got your goal. Just get a ball and your friends, and you can play. You can even play on your own if you have a wall, and you can kick it against walls. So it's just, and I think, especially in this country as well, it's such a high social currency for especially boys. You meet a new set, like you go to school or you go to a family event. As a child, you meet another boy. They have a football. You're like, oh, do you want to play? Yeah. And then you don't even know each other's names, but you're there sharing a space with this other person, and you're just playing football. And then even as an adult, as I like to call it, if you're with like your partner and you're put in what I like to call man crash, where you know all the women are there and go, oh, this is so and so's boyfriend, this is so and so's husband, he likes football, so you just put together in the corner.
Okay.
And that's the thing, you immediately think, oh, who do you support? It's like Man United, I support Tottenham. It's like, oh, this guy's all right, he likes football. That's almost like it's like you immediately, oh, this guy's cool. Because that's a lot of guys who like football. If you get introduced to a man who doesn't like football, you're immediately like, okay, what happened to you? Like, what's wrong? What's wrong with you? Yeah.
You're bleeding into my next question. Okay, so I never realised that. So basically, football can be a social icebreaker and shortcut in language.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question actually was, why do some men treat others like less of a man
if they don't like football?
If they do not like football.
So it's not so much that
where and take you.
Yeah, so it's not so much they're less of that, but it's the fact that a lot of men, that's their first, and they've never had to go beyond that question. Like, oh, that's their icebreaker with another guy. So who do you support? You support this team, and you can either go, your team's rubbish, or your team's good, or I'll support them too. But then that's the conversation starts rolling, and whether they know a lot about football or not, you've got something to go with, and then you'll probably start talking about other things in your life. But even if you don't want to talk about other things, it's such a low investment conversation. But you can do it for an hour or 2 hours with someone. So this guy, especially if it's your first time meeting them, it's your girlfriend's friend's boyfriend. So you don't really know. You're not sure if you're going to get on, but you can have this conversation. You just and you can walk away from it and be like, yeah, I don't really give much about myself. I don't really want to talk about myself. But you sat at a party and you spoke to this person for the whole thing. Yeah. But when someone goes, right, I don't like football. Well, who do you support? And I guess you mean football. I don't really like football. For a lot of men, that means, oh, right. So now I'm going to have to talk about something else. Maybe something a bit more personal. I don't really want to go there.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want to start talking about my family now or something? No, I don't want to talk about that.
Don't go there.
Yeah. So. Okay. So that's what it is with a lot of guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you support Tottenham. When the World Cup is on, which country do you support?
So growing up when I was younger, it's I didn't really, because my first World Cup, conscious World Cup, so I remember '94, vaguely, very, very vaguely. I was 6 at the time, but then Euro '96, the European Championships, I wasn't even aware that it was happening in England at the time, but England were there, and I think even to this day, I just pick and choose between like England, Great Britain, and Jamaica.
Committed, aren't you?
Depending what sport it is. Athletics, if it's athletics, anything below 400 metres, I'm Jamaican. And anything above that in other sports like sailing, British, come on.
I mean, even in my ignorance, what I do know is the certainty of death, taxes, and Jamaica in fast sprints. Yes,
there you go. Exactly. So I support Jamaica there. So when it comes to football, Jamaica have only made its one World Cup.
Okay,
and that was 1998 in France. So Jamaica never have a chance of winning it. But it was great just to see Jamaica there. So
fair enough.
I like Jamaica and England, and that's when I was younger. I think because I guess I didn't look at football in such a politicised way. I thought I live in England. That's the team I support. I recognise all the players. That's my team.
Sure.
And I liked England, and I think because of that, when I was younger, I still can't help but watch England now and think, I want them to win. But they're so rubbish, man. Look, they've annoyed me again. This is why I don't support them. I don't support this team. But yeah, so I always will like England as a football team and stuff. Even though I don't have the same, I would never be going anywhere with St George's flag wrapped around me. Even though I went to,
can you imagine?
Yeah, exactly. Even though I went to the European Championships in France where were we? 2017. That's 2016. Yeah, 2016.
Okay.
So I went to those, but I was really happy to not go to any England games. Whereas a lot of my friends really wanted to go to England games. Like, no, I don't want to go to England games. Like, be surrounded by just muggy England fans who start getting angry and then start looking at people brown and yellow and black and go, "You're not actually English." And I don't want to be around that. I'll support England, but on TV. I don't even go to the pub to watch an England game.
Yes.
I don't want to be around people. If England wins something, I'd be very happy that they win something. But I'm definitely not as passionate about England as I am about Tottenham.
Sure.
Yeah. And if Jamaica ever make it to any football tournaments, then yeah, I'll be supporting Jamaica. But I'm much more neutral when it comes to international football.
You've got me thinking, because I am remembering, mentioned earlier the African Cup of Nations, but I'm actually just had a flashback about the World Cup.
Yeah.
So I'm African of Nigerian heritage, and of course it's always the Super Eagles.
Yeah.
And then if they're knocked out, almighty forbid, then it's an African country. If not, then it's a Caribbean country. And then if not, it's a Latin American country. And then if not, the rest of you people. Now, even irrespective of all that, irrespective of the team, skin colour, anything, the underdog.
Yeah.
My heart really goes out if one team, there's not people cheering for them, and the whole stadium and world, the bookmakers are against you, I am for you. I am for you. And it's just like, do not give up. I love supporting the underdog.
Yeah, it's like what happened with South Korea in the World Cup of 2002. Yeah, 2002. They were hosting it with Japan. Okay. So no one even expected them to make out their group stage, and they got to the semi-finals and they knocked out Germany. Have they knocked out Germany? I think they knocked out Germany, and the world just got behind them because it was just... No, knocked out Italy, sorry. Italy, and the world just got behind them because it's like, this is just the most amazing thing. They're such a small team, but they're doing so well. So I think for me, more neutral, but if it's one-on-one, it's African teams. Yes. I want the African teams. I really want the African team to win the World Cup. Eventually, and then it is, even subconsciously, it's almost the team that has the most black players in their starting lineup. And stuff. It's just what happens. I look at it, like, okay, that's that team. Isn't that every team in the world? No. What does? Just there's. Oh no, the majority Africans. I see. Yeah. Is there an African in every team in the world? Do you think? I need to look this up. Because is it just Russia, fine, China, Asian teams? It's a lot of Asian teams, fine. Write this. Write this. Yeah. Oh, we're coming for you. Write this. Add some flavour. But what will happen though? But that person probably would get accosted from, not from the Russians, but imagine if a Nigerian guy who born in Russia, grew up in Russia, decided I'll play for Russia in the World Cup. You get cussed. Exactly. You get cussed. Exactly. So that's why we go. Oh, actually, I'll play for Germany. I'll play for Nigeria then. Okay. Because that's what happens. So international football, you can play for anyone where your grandparents are from. So grandparents, parents, obviously where you're born. So I'm eligible to play for Jamaica if I ever was that good at football. Okay. I could play for either Jamaica or England. Okay. Because born here, obviously, but then parents are Jamaican. So that's why you see a lot of players play who are playing for Ireland, white or black or mixed race, play for Ireland. Okay. And then you hear them talk, and they're just from Dagenham. They're like, and so I love Ireland, love playing for my country and that. It's just like you're not. But their name would be something like O'Reilly, and it's their granddad's Irish. Yes. And they'll be playing for Ireland. Oh, okay. Okay, that's what makes sense then. Okay, so now what I'd love you to do, I'm going to list some topics, and you're going to bring any issues that you know about this certain topic, any ideas, solutions, or something that people don't know, or a misconception. Anything like that.
and there's a lot of football I don't know. So what's it called? And you know, I read on a FIFA site that it's like their aim is to have, I think it's about 60 million people in the world engaged in football and stuff like that. But then hold on, there's billions of people.
It's like 7 billion. Yeah.
There's a lot of people who do not actually engage with the most popular sports according to the FIFA site. But we're trying to bridge the common ground here with solutions. So, raising and highlighting, we welcome anything that you viewers think that people aren't aware of and misconceptions about football. In any of the following topics, do comment below, share the video and notifications. So, issue and or solution.
Yep.
The pressure on footballers to deliver.
Yeah.
The pressure put on by pundits, media and fans.
Yeah.
What's your take?
So I think my take on that is, I think a lot of people who obviously have normal jobs with normal paying jobs look at footballers and think, what are they moaning about? Like, what's the pressure? But I personally see it from two ways. One, you only know the situation that you're in.
Yeah.
So a footballer, the same way we don't naturally empathise with a footballer, that's the only job they've done. So, and a lot of them, they've been doing that since they were 9 or something, like 9 years old.
Okay.
That's been an aspiration to play football, and they're playing football. That's the world they know.
Yeah.
Play football. So it's that with the pressure. Hardly any of us do our jobs where there are millions of people watching us do our job all the time. Like, all of us who work at the office have sent an email to the wrong person. And that all that happens is you might get that person's email back, and I don't think this was meant for me. Okay. Imagine if you sent that email to the wrong person, but there was millions of people watching it, and then after people replaying, you pressing send each time. Yep. And then there's a panel of people who used to work with you saying, "Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. Look, they're an idiot." Yeah, they probably don't have much time left at this company after such a mistake.
True.
And people going again. Then you leave your office, you finished work, and then people are out in the street going, "You're the person who sent that wrong email." What? Just like, it's one mistake. True. I just made just leave it. Yeah, and it's continuous.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and that's big. And that's people watching. Imagine 40,000 people watching you do your job as well. So it's a lot of pressure. Don't matter how good you are or how used to it you may be. I think it's a lot of pressure for any kind of individual to deal with. And I think as well, although they're paid a lot, they are very disposable. As much as they're celebrated and cheered on when they're doing well, when they're not, it's very, a player's career, especially managers as well, their career can be up here, and then a few bad results, a few bad performances, you're no longer in the team, and you're not the guy anymore. And so, and then it's like you're elbowed out, you're dropping down divisions, and there's quite a few documentaries on depression in football and stuff as well. Because I guess again, it's the pressure of being on the pitch, and your family actually, because your income's so big, it changes the lives of your immediate family as well. So. If you think that you're not doing well and then your source of income is going to go, then you're susceptible to feeling that you're going to let your family down. I guess that's how depression comes into football and stuff. And
very true.
Yeah,
that's the person. You just made me think. Two things. I had the pleasure of meeting. What is it? Clark Carlisle.
Yes, yeah.
And years ago, and he did
a lot on.
Yeah, he was just the most approachable, humble, passionate speaker, and talking about his family and everything like that. And he came in to do an interview at the BBC. Really cool, and just such a ambassador for football. And you know me being sarcastic, and you're saying football and things like that. Meeting him, very, very cool. Just open, and and he goes, "Oh, we try and get this, that," and he, supporting, and talked about his stuff, and you need broad shoulders for that, the pressure that you're talking about. Second thing, so I've just thought, does there need to be a kind of, PTSD post-match for footballers, coaches, somewhere they can go to for sanctuary and counselling after facing abuse?
I think there should be, maybe.
Like a priory.
Yeah, I think there probably should be. I think, especially in more recent years, I think there is much more psychology and mental health awareness within football. So a lot of players, when they get injured or have long-term injuries, like Tottenham's left back Danny Rose was out for 9 months, and he's spoken about how, like he's only recently come back from injury, and he said that, just how having a therapist through it actually helps. And I think maybe 10 years ago, I don't think a therapist would be anywhere near a footballer. And whether you're a footballer or not, that's a very traumatic thing to happen to you, that you do your job, the only job you're qualified for, and you have a setback that puts you out of work for, you're currently getting paid, but you're out of work for 9 months.
2 weeks, let alone 9 months.
Exactly.
Go stir. And cabin fever, and you're watching and everything, commenting. Oh, sorry, sidebar. Just realised the Priory is a rehab place. No. Mental health and issues and stress does not need alcohol. So strike that from this record. But it's true. There's a lot of pressure. We hearing that. Okay, I've got some appreciation for that now. Okay, so. Next one is issue or solution for newbies to the game, new entrants. I remember, going to matches and stuff like that, supporting my siblings, and then seeing the excitement for scouts. And the thing is about it, when people see the glamour of the beautiful game and, this, what about the realities? I mean, for example, intense training. And you're signed versus, do you go on with education? What happens if you sustain a permanent injury, you've nothing to fall back for, but can you actually tell that to a newbie? And I just wondered, do you know about the realities of that kind of dream versus reality for them?
So it's I'm reading a book called A $40 Million Slave. So it's more about US sports and the kind of parallels between black athletes in US sports and basically back in slavery plantation times. And I guess it's the similarity in the UK, and not just black, but to any kind of athlete, is you're kind of presented this false dichotomy of, if you want to make it in football, then you're going to have to take education, have to take a break or a step back to make it, because the amount of training and stuff you're going to have to do. Or if you want to make it educationally, then you're going to have to take a sidestep of sports and stuff. So you can't do both. And then what you end up having is footballers who haven't been in formal education from the age of about 14, get to the age of 19, 20, get lots of money. That's why you see a lot of them do very stupid things, because it's like they haven't lived a normal life and they do stupid things that probably lots of people that their age mates would be doing, but they're in the public eye, so people see them do it, and they're like, look at this guy, he's got all this money, and he's not appreciated it. It's like, well, you've got to remember, this guy's actually 19 years old. He's not meant to be smart or mature. He just happens to be very rich, but he's not. He's not smart or mature. So the reality and the dream, I think it's like with anything, isn't it? When you're at the top, people kind of ignore the journey it took you to get to the top. And I think with, especially like youth football, like I've got a few friends who've got like kids who are like 13, 14 being signed for professional clubs now, and their kid is away from home. They don't even live at home. They're at an academy somewhere. And one of my brother's friends' kids have signed for Liverpool, so he's up in Liverpool at their academy. So he's have to. Not many people move house until they're in their 30s.
True.
These footballers are actually moving home when they're like 13, 14. And I think now there is much more emphasis on being educated. They do actually have their maths and English and stuff, but it's still maybe not enough for, if they do sustain a serious injury, that means you cannot play football at this level anymore, that they could then pick up a job. They'd have to go back into doing the GCSEs again and doing and doing A levels and things like that, they'd be behind.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I guess the solution to that is to actually put more emphasis on education when they're at those like academies.
Right.
I think academies should put more emphasis on education. Yeah.
That's good.
Just in case, yeah.
That's good. No. Ticket pricing. So in terms of ticket site pricing and like stadium, and also like is it even still pay-per-view? I'm not even sure. Like kind of broadcast.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. So you get certain packages that you.
So value for money.
The England is particularly expensive.
Yeah.
When it comes to football, if you go to anywhere, not just the world, just even in Europe, you can go to Germany. And the ticket prices are so much lower, and it's just bizarre. And broadcasting as well. In the UK, you cannot show live football between the hours of 3 o'clock and 5:15.
Okay. Why?
It's just a old broadcasting rule. The reason for it was to not discourage people from actually attending the games. But this rule was written. Like 30, 40 years ago.
It's unusual that laws don't keep up with modern life, as you were. Yeah. Okay.
So you can't show football. So most games are shown are actually played at 3 o'clock. So it's to encourage people to go to those games on the Saturday afternoon.
I wondered about that. Yeah. Okay.
But what happens is you can't see it here in the UK, but anywhere else in the world, you're allowed to watch the games.
Okay.
So you can watch games there, and they show all their games as well in those countries as well. And the prices for tickets. So when I went to Ajax in Amsterdam, I think their season ticket costs something like €200.
Now, forgive my ignorance. So
it's a season ticket.
Season ticket, is that a quarter? Is that how?
Season ticket is one season, so all the home games. So if the team plays 38 games in the league, 19 of them will be at home, 19 will be away.
So is that like a year?
Yeah, so nine months. Yeah,
that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get 19 games and like their cup games as well. So that's how much the season ticket is in for Ajax, who are a top team in the Netherlands.
Okay.
Arsenal have the most expensive season ticket in England. And I think their season ticket is nearing £2,000.
Eh?
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, £2,000.
So how is that justified? How's that justified? I'm going to speak up.
Yeah, so the justification, I guess, is just basic economic principles of supply and demand. If you say I don't want it, there is someone who's willing to pay that.
I'm trying to understand.
I don't know who those people are, but there is someone willing to pay that.
2K.
Yeah.
For an average fan. Okay, I'm going to just tell you what's in my head because I have no idea what's happening. So when you say supply and demand, is it demand for greedy people to supply greedy people's pockets?
No.
Are these stadium boxes made out of gold?
No, these
Do
are
they
boxes.
take off?
These are just a seat, the season ticket.
A seat, like on a bench.
No, it's a one seat.
One seat, plastic.
Plastic seat.
Plastic seat.
Yeah.
So
you're paying for the guarantee that you'll have that seat for all of the home games that season.
Is there a gold-plated badge with your name on it for the year?
No.
Is there delivery service waiting one-on-one VIP hospitality that comes to you?
No.
Is there travel provided for you from your seat to your home?
So I'll give you an example.
£2,000.
Yeah. So Tottenham's season tickets.
Hey.
It's about like one. It's I can't remember last time. Should have looked this up before, but it's over. What was Tottenham's season ticket? It's about 1,500. So I think it's about that. I may be wrong. Someone's gonna be telling me, nah, it's not. It's this much. But
get a life.
Yeah. But for example, I'm a member of Tottenham Hotspur. So I'm not a season ticket holder. I'm a member. So you have me being a bronze member means. So when the tickets are released for a game, the season ticket holders, they already have the tickets. Then you have your gold and silver members. They get when it goes on for sale, they'll get it at a certain date.
Okay.
And they'll have like maybe a 3-day period for them to get the tickets. And then after that, bronze members and lily white, so it's the other 2 stages. We get another like week after that to get the ticket.
Right.
And then it'll go into general sale.
Okay.
So that's why by the time it gets to something, if it's a massive game, like say Spurs and Arsenal, by the time it's gone through the gold members, there aren't any tickets for the game. Wow. Because everyone's bought their ticket. Everyone's bought a ticket for a game. And to give you an idea, when you're a member, you get put on the season ticket waiting list.
Okay.
So Tottenham have roughly, so they'll have about 17,000 season ticket holders.
Okay. We're speaking to the screen.
Sorry, yeah, 17,000 season ticket holders.
Jeez.
I'm currently 26,000 on the waiting list, and there's another maybe 50,000 people behind me on the season ticket waiting list.
Now, wow. Okay, so
and that's only for one club. That's only for Tottenham Hotspur. So Arsenal will have their waiting list. Manchester United have their waiting list.
okay.
So when I'm talking about supply and demand, you've got that much demand for these tickets. That there are people literally. Those wall punchers. Those are the guys.
I don't know what's going. What punching the wall? They're probably like at the ATM. They've just seen that go out of their account and just like
exactly
the Hulk.
Those are the wall punchers.
Wow.
The guys who've just seen their team play rubbish and they go, I've spent over £1,000 a season to watch this rubbish. Bang! I'm punching walls. That's them. That's them. The wall
Declined. Declined.
Yes.
The thing is, earlier on in the interview, you mentioned that whole kind of, football being accessible to all. Just put your 2 jumpers, ball, things like that. So that kind of, it's brilliant. There's a level playing field.
Yeah.
It's democratized. But depending on your pocket, it's like when you're Nigerian. Your assorted meat and your pot depends on your pocket.
Yeah.
So this is just like, basically it's the same thing. Like, so if you have a gold standard or a season ticket, you're basically like those people just like bouncing into first class.
Yeah.
So you're going from a plastic seat in the cheap seats to the people with money who have that kind of probably reclining seats, servicing.
So football's accessible definitely on a playing level. Like anyone can play football, whatever walk of life you're from. Football is very accessible, I think. Watching football on TV, again, there's lots of places that show football, and you can watch a lot of football on TV for not much money. To watch as much football as you'd want, that starts costing money. Then to start watching football live, that starts costing money. And then when you start going to like corporate hospitality, that's when you've got like all the bars and stuff, and you're in the box, and you've got the leather seats, and that's when it starts going crazy. And especially like World Cup events and stuff. Like for Wembley holds 90,000 people, and for like the FA Cup final, 20,000 of those tickets would already be sold to corporates before the games even started. Sponsors, corporates, and then it's the remaining 70,000 would be split 50-50 between the 2 team supporters. Season ticket holders will get priority over those. Then it'll go down on their respective teams, their ticketing levels and stuff.
Sure.
And that's how it'll go.
I'm sorry. I don't even go to watch football, and my blood pressure is raised just.
But that's top flight football. So that's Premier League football. So if you want to go, so you said Barnet was.
My dad.
So if you used to go to watch Barnet, that would be quite affordable.
Okay.
And quite easy to get a ticket to. So
so local games.
So even even it's just like the Championship, which is the second tier of professional football. Tickets are much cheaper and much more accessible and easy to get to. But it's when you're watching the top teams play each other, that's when it goes crazy.
So is this in line when you've got these massive boxing matches and things? Is it the hype?
It's the hype.
Or is it worth? Is it actually worth seeing top of the top level quality players? Is it actually worth it? Money doesn't matter because you're watching the top people in the game, or is it hype and it's not justified? What do you think? If you had to fall on one side.
If I had to fall on one side, I'd say it's hype because you can never guarantee how the game's going to go and stuff. And a top player could have an off game. And you spend all that money to see this top player and they've not done anything in that game. But then you could spend, but then you could be there when that person scores that goal.
Okay.
That goal, the goal that's replayed and repeated for years and years after. You could say, I was there. I was behind the goal. If you watch the replay, you can actually see me there. And you're part of, and you feel like you're part of a moment when you see that. So you could pay money for that, or you're going to just be, it's another game where nothing really happened.
It's a gamble.
Yeah.
It's a gamble. Okay, I like that. Nice save. Okay, I actually get it now. You're living for the moment.
Yeah.
That's what they're working towards. That's the lift.
Well, yeah, live for the moment. Well, nowadays people don't live for moments, do they? They're watching the game through their smartphone trying to capture it. So.
It's true. Okay, so what's called? You are a pundit and a commentator. You've got your own podcast. Tell the people about that.
Oh, well, I'm not sure what's going on with that podcast now. That one. The football one. I've got my own podcast. I'll plug my own podcast.
Okay.
So my podcast is Griff's Brain Dump. So you can just find that if you go to my website, or you just follow me on social media. So Griff the Joker on all social media, or you go to darrangriffiths.com/podcast, and then you'll see both the podcasts there. But the football one is taking a bit of a break at the moment, so we're not sure what we're doing with that at the moment. But yeah.
The reason why I mention it is that we welcome your comments on any of these topics, and also you can check out the other podcasts, the ones that are on there at the moment, because they're actually quite funny. Because what's it called? You've tuned in because we're talking about football. What's the point? Yeah. But there's actually, for you fanatics and actually people who actually know the game, you can catch Griff on that. What's it called?
Midweek Under the Lights.
Under the Lights. Yeah. Now, carrying on with this, I'd like sexism in the game.
Yeah.
In the game. This is talk about domestic, internationally. Yeah. Is there an actual difference between the women's style of playing and the men's? Because why is the men's more dominant than the women's matches on mainstream outlets?
Right, how do I answer this?
Honestly.
I'll try to think how to say it properly. So, yes, there's a difference in the games. But I think once men accept there's a difference, that's when they'll realise that the women's game is actually very watchable. If you watch women's football with the lens that you think it should be like the men's game, then you're always watching and think it's not that good. Men are stronger, they're faster. So the game is faster. So when you watch women's football, it's like, this is slow. If you get the idea of men's football out of your head and you're just watching women's football for what it is, you actually go, oh yeah, this is actually a decent game of football. I'm not, rather than thinking, oh, if that was a bloke, this would be happening quicker. So they're different in that respect. I think men's football is more popular because just men's sport is more popular, and I think that's more of a reflection on global attitudes towards men and women and sexism rather than a specific football problem. So I think tennis is probably the only sport that kind of bucks the trend a bit. Like, I think men and women's kind of get to similar viewership. I think still men's finals still get a bit more viewers than women's finals, but every other sport, it was men's. I think because men's sports well started, it's got a 40, 50 year head start on women's football. Okay. And especially when it comes to being a professional body and the professional body running it, then they've probably got an 80, 90 year head start. Again, maybe not so much tennis, athletics, those things where they, I think that's the reflection of that. I think women's football only became professional. When I say professional, it's women are getting paid for it. But even then, still women playing football now still have other jobs. They not many of them can live full time off playing football. And the ones who are paid, they're still not anywhere near the men's level. So I think that's the the difference in that. What was the other part of the question?
No, you answered it well. You answered it well because my thing is just actually you saying that it's how long that the game has been televised or and things like that as well. And since I think BBC here in the UK anyway, BBC was on, I think in the 30s, and then ITV and follows in the 50s. So actually, you're right. It stems from that time and that gender.
Well, then it was just football. There wasn't an idea of women playing football. So that was literally football.
But my crux is, my thing is that if there was an equal gender type of equality, equity, and access. That's supply and demand. Yeah. If the supply was there, the demand would be equal. I'm thinking.
I think it would definitely grow. I think you still have attitudes towards women's football that make a lot of men not want to watch it. It's like,
are you afraid they'd be better than you on the pitch? Comment below. It's okay. Be honest with your misogyny. We welcome it. Yeah.
But things like that's mean that. I don't think you should compare the two because I know when I was at uni, I think the England women's team played Loughborough University's university team, like the men's team, and the men's team beat them like 6-0. And the Loughborough guys aren't professional footballers, so if you do like a battle of the sexes, the women will come out second. But I don't think that's a reflection on the quality of women's football. I just think they're just different games. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't actually help women's football to try to compete with men's football.
This is what I'm trying to understand. So
it should just be like, this is women's football. This is what we do. This is what we are. This is how the game looks. This is us.
That's why I asked about differences in terms of, because you mentioned about men are stronger, and you're saying that women have the same skills.
Technical skill. Actually, passing, there won't be much difference. There won't be much difference at all. But the physicality of the game, it'd be less physical. Women's football, it is slower just because of just physical build-up of the players. Men are faster runners, so. It's those little things that are the passing, the range of passing will be shorter because that's more to do with strength rather than technique. It's not that women can't kick a ball; it's just women aren't as strong as men, so they won't be able to kick the ball as far. So the game, the way the game is played is different. It's much more shorter. Although men's football has short passing now, almost the whole women's game will be short passing. So you're less likely to get shots from outside of the box in women's football.
Okay.
But they'll still be able to play the ball into the box and score a goal. So that's what I mean in the sense of they are both football, but it is just different.
Sure.
It's just different. And when I changed my mentality from it's not like men's football to just watching it for what it was, I found it much more enjoyable. I was like, I can easily watch this game. So it's to the point that if I was flicking through the channels now and I was looking for football and women's football was on, I would watch it and stuff. Whereas maybe 10 years ago, there's still no football on TV. that would have been my attitude.
Sure.
Even though there's actually women's game now.
So you seem, I like that because you have you have an actual growth mindset and an open growth mindset. That sounds like an oxymoron, but anyway, you're open to it. So do you want kids?
Yes.
So you take your daughter to games and things like that. You're open. I've heard people say, no, it's separate. I honestly imagine when I see some comments on sports pages and so-called banter, I honestly sometimes imagine, when the women and men are separate in religious spaces that we were talking about before, they'd actually keep them separate. And it's just like, no, wow. Anyway, moving on. Thank you for that insight because it's learning a lot. No. The other thing is as well, your thoughts, issue and or solutions to homophobia within the game, on and off the pitch.
So, again, I think it's another thing where it's a societal issue, and football is just a microcosm of society. So, homophobia is something that isn't addressed in society, I don't think. You have gay celebrities and stuff, and so you think, homophobia is done. I think it's similar with racism. I don't like ever putting the two together because then it sounds like I'm comparing them, but I'm not. But it's the sense of how I'm heterosexual, so it's easy for me to think there isn't an issue with homophobia. So I think it's the same for a lot of people who aren't like black or Asian. They think there's no issue with racism. They think, oh, well, there's a black person doing well. Why are we talking about racism? And so I think you have those people, but I think at least within football, you have visible black footballers there, so you can see it. Whereas I don't think you have any current playing gay players in top flight. You have rumoured players, and it is one of those weird social issues where it shouldn't matter. So why does a footballer need to actually state that they're gay or not? Because it has nothing to do with how they play football.
Exactly.
But then I guess the flip side is, they should be accepted if they are gay. And from football fans that I see and socialise with, or football fans that I see and like when I go to watch games, football fans are very, very fickle. So if their favourite player came out gay, they'll be like, well, he plays on my team and he still scores goals, so I don't care. That is what they'd be like.
Wow.
If he was gay, he played for another team, they would make a song about it.
That's
exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And the same way that if that gay player didn't play well, they'd start making songs about it. They'd probably start abusing him. As soon as he starts scoring goals, their songs, they'll probably still have songs, still mention he's gay, but the songs would be probably like a tongue-in-cheek thing, going, yeah, I'd let him like have sex with me.
Hey!
That is what they would be. That's the kind of way footballers are. Football fans are. They're like, yeah, we love him that much.
I believe it.
Because he's doing well for the club. We love him that much. As soon as it goes wrong, you this, you that, you did it, and that's what they'd be like. So, but yeah, there is. Yeah, I guess there is. I guess the issue with homophobia isn't. I don't think it's any more prevalent in football than it is in other sports.
Okay.
Or in society than it is in society. I think it's at the same level.
Okay.
So it's not a good place that it's at, but I think it's just the same level. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that. Right, so FIFA, your thoughts. So FIFA is, for those who don't know, it's the Fédération Internationale de Football Association. I love how they're inclusive, having half French, half English. It's actually also, it's not just phonetic, it's written. Fédération Internationale de Football Association. So FIFA, what its response to the corruption scandal in terms of the bidding processes for the forthcoming World Cups. Your thoughts to that? And in general, I mean, if you know about it, the kind of governance. I mean, I read on their site, there's a lot of, they've changed. They're changing, they say, their internal processes for better governance, more effective sustaining. There's a, what's it called, investigative committee, yada, yada, yada. Now, what do you think about that?
So FIFA is like many old institutions. It is just a corrupt kind of. It's a boys' club of old white wealthy men who are very detached from what is actually happening in the world.
What makes you say that?
It just the way it operates is there's no real shifting. With that, they had the same president for like 40 years. Was Sepp Blatter there for?
Wow.
He was there for a very long time, and
dictator. Yeah,
he is. So, like, if FIFA was like an African country, the world would be like, "Oh my God, it's so corrupt, it's so terrible." So they would see it like that. They'd see it quite clearly, and there'd be no issue in addressing it.
He's a very correct person. Continue.
But instead, it's not. It's more of a Western country with the same amount of corruption, but you can't just turn a blind eye to it because they deliver fantastic shows every 4 years. That's the World Cup. And stuff.
Pardoned.
Yeah, exactly. Just each time it's like, oh, we hate FIFA. And then the World Cup comes, like, I love the World Cup. And it's like, and we all love it. We all love the World Cup. Like I remember when the World Cup was going to Brazil. was reading all the articles about how they're building these white elephants, as they call the stadiums, so they knew they wouldn't be able to use them after the World Cup was done. The areas where they're building these stadiums were in really poor areas, and none of the local people were allowed to use it or benefit from the amenities that were coming from the stadium, to the point where where new roads were being built for some of the stadiums in Brazil. Locals weren't allowed to drive on those roads. They had to still use the old roads. These roads are for press, fans, these specifically for World Cup attendees, not you locals, not you guys. So
doesn't change, does it? They find the money when they need that kind of temporary cosmetic makeover to transform the environments, but they don't find the money locally for people who need it.
No.
So it's not so. We're talking about kind of that sustained transformation to. They say that it encourages
growth in the area.
In the area, GDP, economy, things like that.
And that does in.
But isn't that what FIFA is doing as a governing body and trying to bring sport and change?
It does that in countries that already have that kind of system in place. So similar to the Olympics, when the Olympics are in somewhere like London, and you see Stratford's literally just blossomed since the Olympics, because Britain's a country that is already quite advanced and stuff and doesn't really have that level of issues when it comes to poverty, whereas a country like Brazil or South Africa, I don't think it happened that much, but if they were to put it in, say, a different African country, they wouldn't have any plans in place for after the circus has left. It's just like you'd be left with these big stadiums that are just the amount of electricity, they'd be unsustainable to have there.
That infrastructure.
And there's nothing to, and there's nothing to, they haven't left anything there to be built from it. You're just left with these massive things. Just
so you think it's so in the outcry of the scandals and all of that and the bribery, yada yada. It's been the distraction, that it just be that continuous cycle of distraction, and it's just lip service. You don't think it's actually going to change. You don't see. Do you see another scandal happening?
Yeah, definitely.
No hesitation. No, wow.
Definitely. Yeah. Maybe not straight away, but FIFA will. It's just
I thought you said filthy.
No, FIFA.
Filthy, dirty money. FIFA.
No, I just think it's just a way. I still think it's just a way of that world, in the sense of brown envelopes and bundles of money going to certain hands.
Yeah,
is how these things come about. That is, and because the last one, it was England who were kind of the whistleblowers of the corruption. It was the English FA.
England.
Yeah, but then there's the cynical part of it. Well, part of me goes, that's really good that someone actually blew the whistle on the scandal and kicked up a fuss. But the cynical part of me goes, England only kicked up a fuss because they were the ones who didn't get the World Cup. That they went.
Are you saying it was a Mitch move?
Yeah, exactly.
By England.
So I'm pretty sure that if England had got the World Cup and they found out about the same corrupt underhand means for the reason why they got it, the English FA would have gone, well, next time, if you do this, we might tell, but all right, we'll turn away on this one.
Hello, representatives of the Football Association. Your right to reply is down here. All of it, of course, these are all alleged. Of course, we'd love to hear from you.
Allegedly.
We'd love to hear from you. Numerous reports about this. Defend yourself.
Yeah.
Thanks. What's it called? Thank you on that. Any more to say on that?
No.
You're all right. So, moving on to what I see as hate crimes. On and off the pitch, from the recent justification validation from I think it was like African female football player by a racist coach.
Vindication. So that's Eni Aluko, who plays for England, Chelsea footballer, and it was Mark Sampson who was the coach. So he was cleared of, racial harassment, but was found guilty of harassment or just bullying. So the FA paid compensation, but it was also part of the conversation was she wasn't allowed to say anything about what happened. But then they didn't even pay her with her compensation either.
So she was mugged off.
on top of that, of being mugged of that, she had a job. She hasn't played with England since she bought the case, and she didn't actually. To be fair, she didn't even bring the case initially. She was asked to do a review of the environment of like English football, women's football for England, to say like, oh, is it a like? I think it's like an equalities panel. I want to say like, is it, is it fair for like genders, fair for races and stuff, But she said, oh, she gave an honest review. Go, well, no, there is a bit of racism there. There's a bit of sexism, and she said, but that's it. She handed the report. And they're like, yeah, can you change this and take this out? She's like, well, no, because you've asked me to do this. You asked me to work with these independent people. As she was captain of England at the time, and they was like, well, you need to take this out. And in the same email of them saying you need to take it out, they started going, oh, and because she said she wasn't going to do it, in the same email of them saying you need to take it out, they also told her that her job that she then had with Chelsea Football Club as like in their legal department, she's a trained solicitor. They said, oh, it's a conflict of interest and you shouldn't have that job. So she was like, this is ridiculous. One, they're two topics, you should never put them in the same email. And two, they made it impossible for them to deny that one was linked to the other by putting them in the same email. So she already knew that she had, that this was going like a certain way and stuff. So yeah, I've got like massive respect for her. People like her, and like obviously Colin Kaepernick's not football, it's American football, but those kind of people that she could have really just fallen in line, kept her career going. And I guess cynics could say she was coming towards the end of her career, but at the end of the day, she was still currently playing for England. She was the top goal scorer. She was top goal scorer in the Women's Premier League and stuff. So she was at the height of her game and stuff. Even though she had achieved stuff already and she could have easily retired then, the point is she didn't fall in line. She actually tried to achieve justice. She wasn't even that aggressive or militant with it. It was they asked her to do something, she did it, and they didn't like the result of it, and they tried to push her out. And
right. So this is, thank you for that. Giving context. My thing. This leads into this question. It's a two-parter.
Yeah.
I see abusive fans in the stadium and online.
Yeah.
Linked to the institutional racism in that case.
Yeah.
So for me, as a hate crime, those are hate crimes. I see it as that.
Yeah.
So my thing is, what can be done to build on campaigns or existing regulations or anti-racism guidelines and police stuff? What can be done? Especially as, what's it called? People... Do footballers have power? Because on the one hand, you've got victims and survivors of abuse just because they're wealthy. Yeah. Do they actually have power and influence? For example, tell me if I'm being naive. If you're a football's agent is commanding that much power, money, surely they've got contracts. Yeah. Can they not stipulate in a contract, like if you're working, the employers are part of the Race Equalities Act and all of this kind of stuff, okay? They are meant to protect you from abusive colleagues, hostile environment, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. They are powerful. Number one, why can't they walk off?
Yeah. Well, certain players have. So there's a player called Sully Montari who's playing in Italy. I can't remember which team he's playing for. But he got abused on the pitch. He told the ref that the fans are abusing him. And I think, what ended up happening?
Was there bananas on the pitch, or is this another one?
There was bananas on the pitch, I think it's just racial slurs and stuff he was receiving. So he was like, that's happening. Like, you need to sort that out. And I think he got quite irate about it. So I think because the ref was saying that there's nothing he could do, he ended up getting booked because he was just swearing at the referee. And stuff.
He was abused, but the footballer got booked.
So he got, and then because he got booked, he lost his temper and walked off the pitch. And in football, you're not actually allowed to leave the pitch unless the referee says you can leave. You're not allowed to leave or enter the pitch. It's one of those
What?
Yeah, it's one of those very technical rules. So he then got booked.
You carry on.
Yeah, he then got booked again because he left the pitch without the referee's permission. and because he left the pitch without the referee's permission,
Outrageous.
he got sent off. So that in a strange way, that caused it to get quite a lot of eyes onto the incident.
Okay.
And so a lot of people were like, okay, that's ridiculous. But no. So they did take back the red card in the end. Did they address the fans? I'm not sure if they actually addressed the fans though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but he walked off, so he highlighted the incident.
Yes. Excuse me.
And I guess the most a club can really do when it comes to the fans is to bag the fans.
Yep.
Which a lot of clubs do. If they can identify.
Okay.
They generally do. If they can identify the fans. So they did.
Good.
Leicester did it with when Leicester played Brighton. I think 2 of the fans got pointed out by other fans that they're abusing or singing some homophobic chants, so they've been banned. Okay. It's happened against Tottenham because it's traditionally a Jewish club, so anti-Semitic chanting been banned, racist chantings, like the fans have been banned. So if they can identify them, so that's the only issue.
Well, I was thinking, I should have looked this up, but I was just like wondering, with the prevalence of CCTV and facial recognition technology, surely it's already helping the police. Yeah. The police need as much help with all the funding cuts. Yeah. So surely if that's in place. Yeah. So instead of having to rely on people to point them out and not feeling...
Well, it's a point of, they have to point them out in the sense of, you've got, as a fan, you've got to report the guy 2 seats behind you saying ridiculous things. So it's only that bit where you have to report. This procedure is you're meant to go to a steward to say that person's singing this, saying that.
Ooh, with aggressive hooligans in some case.
And then so that's going to be awkward anyway for
exactly
like most corporates where that whistleblowing procedure is always done in a way that the person whistleblowing isn't revealed to be who they are. But so you can understand the pressure of someone not reporting racial abuse coming from the crowd. If you sit in the same seat each week and everyone sees you go to the steward, you're going pointing, going, him. Yeah. And then you go back and sit at your seat, and then the stewards go to them like 2 minutes after, going, "Could you come with us, please?" So like, what did you just say? I didn't say anything. The next week, Gary's not sat in that seat anymore. Yeah. You're back there still. He apparently got banned because what he said. It would go around that you were the person who.
Rich, this is it. This is
up. So yeah.
These are the things that we want to know, because for me, I'm laughing because Darren does brilliant impressions of ordinary people, but it's not a funny situation because that whole kind of thing, people doing the right thing instead of being treated like snitches get, Mitches get snitches or whatever it's called. Sorry, I can't actually talk. And that kind of environment where it's like you're put back. You're not encouraged to do so. And campaigns like show racism the red card, kick out the campaign, great people like Football Beyond Borders help. How can we fix up? You either mean it or you don't. You either just want our money, or it's true. They just want your money.
Yes, I believe in those organisations like Kick It Out. They're not official entities, so. So Kick It Out, so something happens on the pitch, Kick It Out will be stamped at their feet and waving the flags going, sort it out. But at the end of the day, it still falls at the feet of the FA to go, no, we can't really be bothered to deal with that. And I guess the player power is it's like all things, it's like, you see TFL strikes. In strikes, it's refusing to play. But the way we process information as the public is like when the people on the train strike, instead of getting angry at the issue they're highlighting, we get angry at them for striking. Exactly. And us for not getting where we need to go. So I think the same time to footballers. If footballers going, we're protesting because we don't like the level of racism that's happening in games, we're not playing. Yeah. What the newspapers who want to back whatever agenda want to back will go, just look at these high played, pampered footballers, look at our precious snowflake footballers not doing their job. Fans be annoyed, everyone's going to be annoyed at the footballers. So you can kind of see why football, like, it's not really worth my time to be protesting this because it's just like
I get what you mean, and I get the kind of the control of the narrative by the media and stuff for the pocket. But it's a flip side of things. As with you were talking about earlier about mental health and mental health issues that are faced. If you bring it back to a level and remove the glamour, the money, we'll go back to the pressure we were talking about earlier. It's a human right.
Yeah.
That's all it falls down to. If you are suffering that kind of mental abuse, it's meant to throw you off your game.
Yeah.
And there should be boundaries. Fine, do your chanting. You know, Wimbledon, it's the same pressure. You don't find anyone doing that. Yeah. You know, I mean, that's more decorum, but they've got it on lock. Yeah. I don't see why it cannot apply, like you are saying. So I think if you're going to bring it to a human right, I know that they're trying to remove the European Court of Law and all this post Brexit and stuff like that, but bring it on a level. If footballers actually united, beyond skin, and just say it is against our rights on the pitch, we shouldn't suffer this. You wouldn't do this for your salary. Right. You would get the backing.
And that's the thing. It's not a black football issue, racism. Neither like homophobia, gay football issue. It's like I say, it's a human issue. So it shouldn't have to take black players.
Separate struggles, human rights.
It shouldn't take a black player to go, I'm being racially abused, so no, I'm not playing. It should be. It's essentially you take the top player on the pitch to be like, what was that? What's just said? Even if they're
not John Terry.
Yeah, just to go, all right, we're not playing. Boys,
yes.
Pick up the ball, we're going off the pitch. We'll walk off the pitch. Because you've seen, and the thing that annoys me about it is I've seen players walk off the pitch for other instances in football.
And have they been penalised or?
No, well they may have got a fine, but they can afford the fine, which sounds kind of contradictory to what I was saying before. But which game was it? I think it was in Italy. Italy sounds much more of a politicised culture. I think footballers feel much more free to go, I'm not happy, so I'm actually going to express myself. I think it's not very British thing to express yourself.
No, it's a nation of someone called a nation of victim Meldrews. You are a nation of victims. You complain, but very passive aggressive. You do it behind someone's back.
Yeah, you could have a team meeting at work. People vent what's on your chest. People go, no, and then go to the coffee room after. I can't believe this. It's just it's terrible. Can't stand this. Like, you didn't say anything. But,
exactly, innit?
And the one person who puts their head up after parent go, I think this and this. Who's with me, guys? And then it's like, no,
it's true, it's true.
We're not with you.
It's true.
You literally said before the meeting you'd back me.
It's true.
So I think that's the same with here in football.
But you're needed more. Yeah. There's that strength in numbers. They need you because there's a lot riding on it money-wise.
If
so
11 footballers were
leverage.
Yeah, 11 footballers we're not playing.
Yeah.
We're not playing. They can't just be a black football thing because as much as there are loads of black footballers, there's a lot of teams that probably can field the team without the black footballers.
Exactly.
So it has to be everyone in the team going, we're in this together, lads.
Yeah.
It's all of us. And they just sit there going, because the manager would then have to go, what do you mean you lot aren't playing? Well, we're not playing because of this and this.
Yeah.
The manager has to go, well, I guess I've got to back you guys then. And
exactly.
then you have to go up like, they're not playing.
Exactly.
This and this issue.
I honestly believe that, what you're saying, I actually believe it's possible if you get that strength in number. And you brought up Colin Kaepernick as well. It is actually possible, that movement for change. We're near the end. You've been amazing. Bear with me. What's it called? So, I wanted to... This whole thing about... I've always wondered about this. You know when people are saying, go back to your own country... what's it called? All right, darky and African and Polish, this and this absolute xenophobic nonsense.
Yeah.
Imagine it's post-Brexit.
Yep. Well,
you've got people kind of drawbridge mentality, even if they're third generation immigrant and they've still got the drawbridge mentality. Imagine non-Caucasians, no players of non-Caucasians. You on a European team, no one. Right. International teams, they're only Caucasians on their team, right? And they went back to where they came from, as the racists would have it.
Yeah.
What would happen to football?
Well, it's not even. There's no foreigners at all. Even white foreigners, they've all gone back to where they come from. So it's just English players in England. What happened to football? I think it actually be weird. I think to be weird. Oh my God, that's the first one. It'd be weird. I'm trying to work out what. Well, I guess it'd be the teams, the international teams that are actually doing the best. So Germany. No, that's a lie then, because. Well, is this just in England, or is every country following this? Is every country following this policy?
Yes.
So all right, then Germany would suffer.
Why?
Because Germany have a very ethnically diverse team and stuff, like Ghanaians, Nigerians, Turkish, like Bosnian. They have players from just like all over the world whose parents have just moved to Germany and they just play for Germany. So if that's the same for every country, so initially the point I was going to go with was the international teams that are doing the best now is just those leagues be stronger, but that wouldn't be true because Germany's similar to England, lots of immigrants in, and that's changed the face of their team. Same as France. Guess maybe Spain. Spain would be okay.
Yeah, why?
Spain doesn't have that many players whose parents are from like other countries. They're the same as Italy. Italy's very Italian, barring 2 or 3 players.
What would happen to Tottenham?
Tottenham as a team, yeah, Tottenham got a lot of English players, but then a few of the English players are black or mixed race. So, and what happens to the mixed race players? So they get split in half. Half of them could stay. If one of their parents are English and one of their parents is like from a different country, what?
I don't know. I don't think that what's called the racists don't acknowledge it.
Yeah, exactly.
At all. They've got to go as well.
Yeah, I think they've got to go as well. So
they'd be deported.
I think quality of football would drop globally, barring a few countries, and then the players who are from, say, African and Caribbean descent would obviously go back to their countries, but they wouldn't have the league and infrastructure to help those players actually flourish at the level they're at. So you'd have very good players. Yeah, that's what would happen. You have very good players in rubbish leagues with rubbish facilities. And then not very good players with fantastic facilities.
Okay, you're saying that. All right, you've just made me think. They might be deported physically with their family and everything and go back.
Yeah.
But they take their salaries with them. These salaries, some of these transfer fees I'm seeing could actually help some gross domestic product.
Yeah.
What if they took that back with them?
If they still got they've got the same salary, then I think you'd end up seeing. Yeah, I think you see probably an African team win the World Cup and stuff.
Hello, footballers, men and females. Think about your contracts. Talk about the residuals with your agents. God forbid this scenario ever happens, but residuals, broadcast rights. Get a cut. Star Wars style.
Yeah, because all the top teams in the world are the top teams because their players are from different. Or their heritage from different countries.
I just wondered.
Bar in Spain.
Okay.
Bar in Spain, I think, yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, the good thing is about it, there are some footballers who are actually, they give back. Yeah, there are misconceptions that football are just ballers, their wags aren't doing anything. There are, honestly, salute if the pressure that Darren's been talking about, that there's footballers face, the coaches, immense pressure. Yeah. Imagine the people they go home to, their families, their friends. Salute to them. Yeah. Because that's something. Yes. When they suffer losses and things like that, or the guy you talked about that was off for 9 months.
Oh, that's Danny Rose who played. Yeah.
Things like that. So salute to them. So, last word from Darren here.
Last word. Just another football topic. Because it always comes up a lot. It's about whether the players' wages are too high or not, and one experience they always tend to give to people that they tend to accept. So I thought to give to your listeners because they are paid a lot, and compared to Joey average, it's ridiculous amounts. But if you think about the world of football and how much money is in football, and rather than looking at it from a bottom up thing where it's I'm the cleaner at the stadium, I'm paid this much, how comes that football's paid this much? You actually look at how many billions and billions of pounds are circulating football. The only reason we watch this game is because of those guys on the pitch.
True.
And what they get paid is actually a very small fraction of all the billions that are going around with those guys in suits who aren't actually playing.
Very true.
And when those players do get injured and they can't play anymore, it's like, get out and you're done. So I think any footballers out there, they should get the money that they do get.
I love this. We're kind of like what's called twinned in different ways, because he's just actually reminded me. I've got some stats about those millions from what's called one of them from it was the source is Deloitte UK Annual Review of Football Finance, June 2017. 2015-16 Premier League revenues rose to 3.6 billion. 3.6 billion pounds.
That's 20 clubs in
alone. That's amazing to me. And then 1.6 billion of that went to the government in taxes. So all these cuts and austerity that you're talking about is a lie. Is a lie. Now listen, open your eyes. And then also the big five: UK, Italy, Germany, Spain, and somewhere else, UK. UEFA Europe's biggest leagues generated 25 billion euros, 2015-16 figures, and those were driven by continued growth in broadcast rights. This excludes Scotland. What's it called? And this is amazing. Match of the day, broadcasting, sponsorship, and commercial interests that include. That's some serious figures, and that's just Europe.
Yeah, that's just five leagues in Europe.
That's amazing to me.
So that's 100 teams to be generating that.
There's power. The people actually do have the power for this, and if we actually strengthen numbers. Look, that's what's at stake, and your voice can actually be heard. Another really quick fact: FIFA's new Secretary General since 2016 is called Fatima Samura, the first ever female Secretary General of the World Football Governing Body.
There you go.
I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank
What's it called? Really good insights. You're right. That moment you were talking about earlier, all of this wahala and trouble and game of moans, for the moment it lifts people. I understand that. How can people connect with you?
Sure.
What's it called? And also your other projects you mentioned earlier, but any more?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so you can follow me on all social media. So Griff the Joker. That's on Instagram. I've got some stuff on the YouTube now, so clips of me doing stand-up comedy.
Great.
I've actually put that up there. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I have my weekly podcast called Griff's Brain Dump, so you can get that from our website. That's darrangriffiths.com/podcast, or you can /GriffsBD, so you can do that, and that's all my previous podcasts on there. That's available on SoundCloud, iTunes. Was it Apple Player now?
Yeah.
I think iTunes is done. Acast, all your top kind of podcast players on there. Then you can watch me perform live and do stand up if you go to darrangriffiths.com/comedy, and that will have the list of upcoming shows that I'm doing. So I think the biggest one coming up is the one on the 23rd of December at the Camden Centre. It's about 400 people.
Nice.
I'll be performing with Slim and Judy Love and White Yardie and who else? Will Robbo. So it should be good. And Dizzle will be hosting. So it should be
very, very cool.
Good. And Love for the Ink stuff guys playing.
This is brilliant. I'll add all those links to this post shortly. And I've got to say, Darren has been an absolute champion, giving insights. But not only that, he had some of my jollof rice with us just before he started. So I'm surprised that itis did not kick in long ago, and we can still function. So salute for Nigerian jollof, no basmati. Now, peace out to all of you. Please share the video, add notifications, any comments, welcome some insights. Let's share and progress with each other. Darran Griffiths, look him up, connect. You need laughter in your life, @Griff the Joker. Peace out, people. Take care.
Cheers.